Are you addicted to rerolling? Like really addicted? Like all you want to do as soon as you load into the game is start spamming the D key? Don't you wish you could be rewarded for that? If so, then I got the perfect comp for you. I'm Spiffboy, and today we're taking a look at Punk Reroll. Alright, so let's start by just looking at the board we're going to build here. So when you're playing Punk Reroll, Jinx is your primary carry. So we're going to be basing it around that. And before I start diving into the units and everything, I want to talk about what exactly Punk is, in case you're not aware. So Punk units gain bonus health and attack damage, which increases by 1% every time you spend gold on a shop reroll. After Punk's fight in combat, your first shop reroll costs 2 gold and grants a 3% bonus instead. So what all that means is that rerolling is good. You want to reroll a lot because it actually makes your board stronger. So this is a board that isn't going to cap out very high. You're going to end up on level 7, maybe level 8 if you're in the right situation. And it's very situational. It's very tempo based. So the disclaimer I have to give at the beginning of this is that if you're playing a Punk game, you are likely going to win early, and then you're going to fall off late game. And so you should be able to consistently top 4 if you're playing Punk from the right spots. So the one thing that you need to be in a spot for Punk is, first of all, a lot of Jinx and Vi early. And you really want a Jinx headliner. Rapidfire headliner is more consistent because you can play Pantheon Vi, and then you also throw in Twitch out here. So you get Rapidfire on Jinx for free, and then you have a second unit that is benefiting from Punk for your like all your rerolling, all your Punk stats actually go to Twitch as well, even though Twitch isn't the primary carry. However, if you end up with a Punk Jinx, well then you drop Twitch and you throw in somebody like Aphelios. I like Aphelios for the CC. If you end up with a lot of AP items, maybe Senna also can give you that rapid fire. But now you have an extra rapid fire unit out there, so you're not getting extra Punk stats. But this caps out much higher, where if you manage to find yourself a Punk spatula, and then you also throw Twitch out there, then you're in the business. Now you have 6 Punk, and it's extremely strong. But so let's talk from the base. So usually. And then also the final situation is, let's say you have a ton of Jinx early, but you don't get a headliner of her, something that I've actually done. Then you can actually wait and try and get a Pantheon Punk headliner. And this actually is much stronger as well. Again, for the same reason, where you can get a Punk spat and play 6 Punk. But also, having a 2-cost headliner over a 1-cost headliner is just generally much stronger. So. But let's go with the base case. The base case here. So we have Pantheon Jinx. We'll say we have Punk Jinx. We'll throw in Aphelios in the backline, and then really what you want are Guardians. This is all the backline you need, and you just need a bunch of Guardians up in the front. So early game, Kennen is good, but if you get later into the game, Kennen, and then a Mumu, and then Kennen gets replaced with Nico eventually. And then if you manage to get a Yorick and a Thresh, excuse me, I'm a little burpy, just had some doba. But anyways, enough about my eating. Where is this Thresh? Where is he? Am I blind? I actually cannot find the Thresh. Oh, there he is. And then something like this. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a level 6 board. If you push 7, push 8, there's a chance that you just start stacking more Guardians. And really all you care about is having a strong front line. And that is because Jinx needs a very specific set of items. You need to have a Rage Blade and a Last Whisper on her. Those are her core items. So I would heavily recommend against attempting to play Punk if you do not start with a bow and a bunch of Jinx, because you need this. You need these items on her. You have the Guardians that stall forever, and then you get this Rage Blade, Last Whisper, and then like Giant Slayer or Runans are both excellent on her. But it allows her to ramp up. It allows her to ramp up while these Guardians are stalling. And then of course, if you find yourself in a position, I guess, yeah. So this is what your board can look like. This is what like a max Punk board looks like. Yeah, your 4 Guardian. You want a 3-star Pantheon, 3-star Jinx. Vi doesn't really matter. Having a 3-star Vi is nice, but isn't necessary. And then of course, you know, you have all of your tank items on your Pantheon. Bada bing, bada boom. It's just the default. These aren't necessarily his best items, but these are just kind of my default like tank items. So this is what it is. And then if you get a Punk Spat, that's when things get really interesting. I've experienced that Punk Spat, you either want to just throw that on one of your Guardians, just give them the bonus health, and then, you know, you throw a Twitch out there. You know, maybe you push an extra level, get a Twitch out there, now you have your 6 Punk. You can just throw it on a Guardian, or a Mosher. Moshers really like this. So Yorick really likes a Punk Spat. If you're not in a position where you have a Yorick, you know, Poppy, also excellent. That also pairs up with Emo quite nicely. Emo Mosher, and then, you know, another Guardian out there. Something like this, a board like this. And this is where it maxes out. And I've also seen an interesting board where it's like a Punk Country. You have this, and then you have Samira out there for Executioner. I had this board in a lower elo game, and it actually felt all right. I don't know if this is actually good or if I was trolling, but this is a board that I did throw together at one point. And then, you know, you throw the Punk on Urgot. And that actually did all right for me. I don't know if I can suggest this. Don't try to force this. But yeah, that's the core of the Punk comp. Just know this is the core of the Punk comp. 3-star Pantheon, 3-star Jinx, a Rapidfire to back her up, unless you have Rapidfire chosen, then a Twitch to back her up, and then you just stack your Guardians, and it is beautiful. So alright, so there's the comp that you're shooting for. Now let's take a peek at the stats on augments, items, and all of that fun stuff. So we're back at the Stats Explorer. So now, of course, we'll start with putting in Jinx, 3-star, and taking a peek what we have here. So as you can see, like I said, it averages a 4.46, top 4 51% of the time. So, you know, if you are in a good position, this can get you a top 4. It is not something you can force, but if you're in the right position, it can work out. And as you can see, 4 Punk is alright. 6 Punk is where you start to have some really good success with it. 4 Guardian is very important. You know, you get an Alawi out there, that's really good. 6 Guardian can really pop off for you. And as you can see, this Jinx, the most important items are Rage Blade and Last Whisper. And you can see the rest have mid stats. And so one thing I like to do is, so let's say we know we're going to make a Rage Blade, we know we're going to make a Last Whisper because we started with a bow. So we should be able to make these items, right? Now we can see what our third item should be. Infinity Edge, not great. Jinx's ability, as you can see, her ability, her one ability makes her attacks grant attack speed, and then she switches, and then her attacks deal bonus damage. I don't think that bonus damage can crit or like needs crit from IE. So IE actually isn't great. Giant Slayer is great. Deathblade is acceptable if you have too many swords. Hurricane, spread that damage around. It's all very good. And then augments. This is something to look at. So of course the reroll augments, return on investment, very good. Pandora's items, again, you need to make sure you have good items for it. Frequent flyer, extended play. Something you won't see here though is stuff like on a roll isn't necessarily. I guess on a roll is all right. But things like golden tickets and prismatic tickets are actually a bit of an anti-synergy. Because if you look at the Punk trait, it's every time you spend money on a reroll that your units get stronger. So you end up losing some value. You almost have like 2 econ augments going at the same time. So it's not necessarily, you know, that crazy. So let's see. So the best placing ones like Binary Airdrops nuts. Living Forge gives her some good items. Latent Forge. Lucky Gloves, so you can itemize all your Guardians. Spoils. Twin Terror is actually surprisingly good. I haven't had much luck with it. But I guess if I think you'd only Twin Terror the Jinx, and that could be pretty good. But yeah, so that's it. So something to keep in mind, you know, make sure you have these items. Make sure you have a lot of Jinxes early. And then you end up capping around level 7, level 8, and you just roll it all down to 0 and get that maximum Punk value. So now let me take us to a game where I can show you where I found some success with Punk Jinx in a Masters lobby. Alright, so now we're into the game. So like I said, this is a Masters lobby. I have just recently gotten Masters. Pretty proud of myself for that one. But so this is the game where we end up playing Jinx, and truthfully, I don't end up. I'm playing Jinx from kind of a bad position here. Is what we'll end up seeing. So let's play this one out. So our portal is Silver Symphony, so we're going to be having all silver augments. So that's something to keep in mind, is that the power level of the lobby is going to be quite slow, or quite low, excuse me, unless somebody hits the Recombob lottery, of course. But so you can see here we start with a couple of Sentinels, and I actually try to see if I'm getting an econ start here. Bruisers can solo this stage. Olaf and Tahm Kench can solo 1-3. So if I were to get an econ start here, this would ensure I have maximum money, but I don't, so I just pick them back up. Now I see a Moshers Vi, you know, definitely not the go signal, not the go signal for Punk at all. So I play it easy, and just have some bruisers out there. Now, truthfully, at this point in time, we should immediately be saying we're not playing Punk because of the fact that we have no Jinx and no Vi. Those are our mandatory requirements for playing Punk. However, I'm still going to go ahead and do something a little bit silly here. So I see Component Buffet, Indomitable Will, and Team Building. And so, let's see. So, with Component Buffet, this gives me access to any items I want. Indomitable Will is a nice combat augment, but this kind of locks me into playing something melee carried, which my items don't necessarily point to. And then I rerolled Team Building because I'm not committing to a reroll quite yet. And Parting Gifts is fairly strong, truthfully. It's stronger than I'm used to, honestly. But I end up not going for any of those. So Indomitable Will, no. Now Caretaker's Ally is interesting. Get a random 2-cost champion now. Get the same one again every time you level up. It is very fun. I've had some times where if I get a re-rollable 2-cost, it's a free 3-star, and the game's a lot of fun from there. But it's very high risk and medium reward, truthfully. So Component Buffet is honestly the most flexible one here, and that is what I end up going for. And now here, I see the Punk Jinx. And truthfully, I was playing this game on stream, and I was looking for stock footage for this video that I'm making right now. So I'm contemplating, I'm looking around, I'm seeing, does anyone have it? And I say, you know what? If I pull a bow out of this anvil, I'll play Jinx. There's my bow. There's my Jinx. And we're playing some Punk now. So, just putting together the best board I can at the moment. Which is a couple of bruisers. The bow is always going to go on Jinx, so we throw it on her, get a Sunfire. Like I said, Punk is a tempo composition, and given that the current state of the meta at the time of recording is a bit of open forts, I figure, if I throw a Sunfire and a bow, I might be able to start winning some rounds. But I ended up fighting somebody who has Stim Pack, which is a lose streak augment, and they beat me. But so as you can see here, just something to point out, you can see this reroll, and if the thing would go away, this reroll at the bottom left, it's 1 cost and it's glowing. That shows that I get my 1 cost reroll that it gives me extra stats. So when you're playing Punk Jinx, you always want to reroll. Every turn, reroll at least once. Spend this gold, see more shops, especially on these level 2, level 3 shops. They're very, very crucial to your success. And as you can see, we pick up another Jinx right away. And when we just sell our bench, make sure we can make 10. The bruisers are nice. Don't really care about keeping the pairs. We're mainly here to collect Jinxes and Vi's, and if we're feeling extra high roll, get some Pantheons in there. And now remember, based on the comp we talked about earlier, I have a Punk Jinx, which means that I need a rapid fire unit to pair with her to make me stronger. Now hold on, here we go again. We're gonna buy out everything, and we get ourselves a rapid fire, and we make 13 gold, so we're good to go. So yeah, so we need a rapid fire to pair with her. We will not be playing Twitch at all this game, unless we manage to get something good. Now see here, I was attempting to continue to lose streak, so I took out this Jinx and played the weaker one to see if I could keep this lose streak going. I ended up fighting an open forwarder, and I also forgot that I have Punk on her. So I don't have Punk active anymore, which means I lose a reroll next turn. That is a bit of a blunder out of the kid. But all things considered, we take the dub. We have early carousel prio. We're gonna be second pick on carousel, and we really want a Rage Blade. We're gonna be shooting for a Rage Blade first. And somebody takes a rod, which really caught me off guard. No one takes rods. I'm very confused, and I bet you I scout that guy's board, wondering what does he even need a rod for. Yeah, I don't know what he's playing. He is team building and grabs a rod. It doesn't make any sense. But we find ourselves a Pantheon. We have 4 Pumpkin. We have our primary tank. And now I realize I hovered over the reroll button. We don't have that free reroll. But that's alright. We slam a Last Whisper. This tier will likely become a tank item, a Redemption, a Protector's Vow, both excellent on Pantheon. Anything that gives health is great on Pantheon because, of course, as a Guardian, he scales off of max health. We get another win here, and now hoping we can keep winning. We use our reroll. Don't hit anything. Don't hit anything. This is quite a low roll game, and now somebody has an RE2 with blue buff. So at this point in time, we're kind of low rolling. This is not the spot you want to be playing Punk Jinx out of. You know, you really want to. The games where I take first with Punk Jinx, I have her 3-star already. Like it's like it's not even high roll. In the words of the great K3 Soju, it's not even high roll to have a 3-star Jinx on stage 2. That's like kind of the requirement to be playing her. We start collecting more units. I swap over to Aphelios. Like I said, Senna outputs more damage, but Jinx already does a lot of damage. The main thing we need is the CC. The CC is really what helps a lot. The stuns out of Aphelios are great. We're getting all of our components. And so let's slow down as we try to pop these anvils. And I wonder what I do first. Do I pop the anvils first or do I roll down first? I probably roll down a bit. Now with Punk, it isn't actually as required to roll down super deep here as with other low-cost reroll comps, because you know we still get these free rerolls every turn. So I still think I'm gonna go to 30, but with comps like Annie, I would almost recommend going down to 0 here. So we take it to 30. We found some good stuff, and I grabbed the rod for our Rage Blade. There we go, completed our Rage Blade, beautiful. And now can we kill this tier? And we find a belt to kill the tier. Perfect. Got a redemption on that guy. So now our board is actually pretty dang strong. It's just unfortunate we fight the guy who has Ahri, blue buff Ahri on stage 3. Kind of disgusting. Now that is high roll. Now that is high roll. But now we're coming up to another augment round. So let's take a look. So teaming up, Unified Resistance and Blistering Strikes. Teaming up 1 random component and 2 random tier 3 champions. I don't really need the econ. I don't really need the components. I already have a component buff, so I'm good there. Blistering Strikes also. I already have a Sunfire Cape, so I actually don't need this Blistering Strikes. So Unified Resistance is looking like the best here. You know, let's see if there's anything else that looks more interesting to me. Reach the Summit. As Jinx, we're never trying to hit level 9, let alone level 10, so that augment is completely useless. And teaming up again, not great. 7-tick uplink mana isn't really good for us. So yeah, so we take Unified Resistance, get us some resistances up front. We find ourselves a 2-star Aphelios, a 2-star Vi, a 2-star Pantheon, a Guardian. We just spiked. We just spiked pretty dang hard here. Of course, we're shy. We're a couple Jinx shy of hitting that, but you know, there's really no need to dig too deep. We can chill out on level 5, use our singular reroll every turn, and the Pantheon 2 is really, I mean, it's a huge part of this comp. Like that's a big game changer for us. And as you can see, we just absolutely womp that guy. It's not even close. And so this is kind of the power level you want to be at with Punk. At this stage in the game, by stage 3, you should be in a position to win everything. And now I'm digging because I'm on a win streak, so I conflict myself so frequently. But I got that Jinx 3. We're on a win streak. You know, stage 3, stage 4, we should win. We should win every fight. Get our health total extremely high. And then from there we just grasp at straws and try to remain powerful. So there's the Yone guy. The guy who took my rod early is playing Yone. What does he need a rod for in Yone? No one knows. No one really knows, but, you know, he wanted to go for it. So I respect that. So now in Carousel, our last item, we want a Giant Slayer. So someone takes our sword. There's another sword available to us. At this point, I'm locked into making Giant Slayer. We just took a look at the stats. It turns out that Runan's Hurricane might actually be better than Giant Slayer. But I didn't look at those stats while I was playing this game. I was locked into getting a Giant Slayer. So now I pump levels here. Yeah, we got our Jinx 3, so now we can push 6, probably 7. And we'll play a Pantheon to allow us to just have more frontline. Get this Jinx. Excuse me. Get this Jinx ramping a little bit more, yeah. But yeah, so now we're following the usual game plan. There were no spatulas available to us. If we get lucky late game, perhaps we'll find a Punk spatula. But our goal is going to be terminal level on 7. We'll have 4 Guardian. 4 Guardian, 4 Punk, 2 Rapid Fire. That's all we need. I'm putting my units in the planner now. The units I already have. I don't know why. But there we go. Now I'm scoping up my Guardians. Just all the Guardians is all we really care about. And as you can see, we're making light work of these boards. We're streaking now. We're on a 4 streak. Near the top of the lobby in HP, there's a Punk Pantheon, which would be great for me. If only it wasn't bad. An Amumu 2, a Kennen 2. Our front line is really starting to come together. Pantheon dropped for free. Things are looking great. And so now I push levels for that 4 Guardian immediately. Again, keep the streak going. And let's pop our anvils. Okay, we get a belt is always safe. Warmogs for Pantheon, great. And we get our Giant Slayer. Perfect. So that's perfect management of those component anvils. Or perfect luck, however you want to phrase it. It's one of the two. So now we have our 4 Guardian available. We have extra resistances on them thanks to Unified Resistance. We're getting bigger shields on them. We're getting even bigger shields because we have this Pantheon. And now this guy is a fully itemized Ahri, and we rocked him. We absolutely rocked him. So, you know, this Punk board's looking pretty strong. We did some decent damage to him too. He was the lobby leader. And now here, let's take a step back to look at these augments. Let's explore the thought process here. So we are offered for our final augment, Silver Veil. Your team gains 5% attack speed and is immune to the first crowd control effect in combat. This is great for melee carries. I'm playing Jinx, who is a ranged carry. Not super valuable. Missed connections, I already have the 1 costs I care about. You know, I could hit a Vi, but like who cares? It's also kind of econ, but we don't really need that. And then Healing Orbs, which paired up with Guardian Shields, paired up with Unified Resistance, gives me a lot more frontline. And like I've said, Jinx really wants some frontline. So it's going to be a double reroll. Harm Assist is whatever, Sticks and Stones. So Harm Assist, again, more of a frontline carry. We get Omnivamp, and 20% of excess healing into true damage. Don't overestimate that true damage. I always click on that thinking I'm going to do a ton of damage, but it's really not that incredible. And Sticks and Stones, I already have a Last Whisper. It's useless for me. So Healing Orbs it is, and now we have our augments. And I hit a Sona. I hit myself a Sona. So now I'm really considering. So now there's 2 routes I can go here. That I can level to 8 to play this Sona, beef up my board a little bit, you know, get that extra attack speed out there. Or just keep rolling on 7. Hit my Pantheon, and get more Punk value. Now I choose one of these routes, and I think the other was correct. But you know, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll also speed this bad boy back up. Because now it's you know, now we're in survival mode. We've hit effectively what is going to be the max strength of our board at this point. So all we need to do is hope that other people start low rolling for this stage. See if we can make it through. Because stage 5 is when we're going to start feeling some pain. Another quick tip, something you may have noticed, is that I buy out my shop before I roll. Because if you don't know, this game is a draft game. It's like a card game where there's only so many, you know, Pantheon cards that exist. So when you have one in your shop or when you buy one, that takes one out of the pool. So by buying units I don't want, it makes it more likely that units I do want will show up in the shop, is effectively how all that works. As you can see, we're keeping the streak up. We're on a 7 streak now. No one seems to be contesting us. Well, I guess no one's contesting us, but no one's getting close to beating us. We're losing Carousel Prio, but that's fine. That's fine, because our items are solved. We can start stacking Jinx or other frontliners. Just grab a cloak, something that we can probably throw on a Mumu. And of course, buy out the shop. Buy some more units. Hold on to some stuff for maybe some 3 stars. Really want to Thresh at some point here. This guy hit a Jax 3. Very scary. And we fight him. Super scary. He has no healing. I remember talking and streaming like, oh, he has no healing. That's not a problem. Yeah, turns out it is a problem. So this is our descent. This is where our descent starts. Is now we've lost one. So now is when things get scary. We've locked in top 7. Somebody already went 8th, so that's beautiful for us. And we get some better Guardians. We're stacking up some Jinx. And so truthfully here, you know, it should be a roll for Pantheon, roll for Vi angle. I'm not so sure if this Sona actually makes the cut. We can also make we could make 40 here if we sold Sona and Pantheon, or Sona and Kennen, excuse me. That's all right. This guy's carrying a Ziggs for whatever reason. And so at this point, it looks like I'm pretty committed to playing this Sona. I don't know if I respect that decision or not. We can make 50, spend all of our gold, get so much more punk value out of it. But I'm sticking with the Sona. How interesting. I guess. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why. The golden Nico. That confirms that I want it, and I really want a Rage Blade for this Sona. And boom, look at that. We get really good items for this Sona. A Rage Blade and an Adaptive Helm. A golden Nico for the Sona. Now there's a reason why we might want to play that. And I do something very goofy here. I hold off on leveling. I keep my 50 gold, so I have a 2-item Sona on the bench. Is that the correct play? Almost certainly not. And this guy had parting gifts, which made him quite strong. So now, you know, now I'm clenching. I'm clenching my cheeks. I'm like, all right, we're 52 health, but we're up against some major 4-cost boards. Is it enough? And so now I start digging. We gotta start hitting some of our 3 stars. Very, very far off from Pantheon, which is a little scary. Again, all that money could have been used towards rolling and bumping up my punk value. Hopefully I'll hover over it at some point here, and we can see what we're at this point. And Sona doesn't even cast, which is, well, upsetting to say the least. Now I'm really like, okay, what have I done? Why in the world did I buy that Sona? Or why did I level to play that Sona? Like, it appears to not be effective. And now I'm just donkey into 0. I'm donkey into 0. I'm like, please, 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 I need this Pantheon. Realistically, at this much health, I think I could have just not rolled to 0, just allowed myself to econ, you know, maybe 1-2 more things, and then get myself into the Pantheon. But I've positioned a little bit better. Sona gets her cast off. Jinx goes absolutely crazy with the Sona cast, up to the attack speed cap. It's beautiful. It could bring a tear to my eye, truthfully. So Sona would have been big. That Yorick would have been big. At this point, Protector's Vow. Just Protector's Vow on somebody. I figure F it, throw it on Thresh. It might have the call might have been a Mumu, truthfully, but throwing that on Thresh, getting a little extra CC. And now another interesting thing here is that okay, stop moving that thing so much, dude. I had the option of grabbing. Oh, look how tiny they are. Look how tiny they are. I had the option of grabbing this Alawi, which, as we saw in the stats, is pretty good. You know, more frontline, more stall. But my rationale was I already have, you know, Sona items. What are these items going to do on Alawi? Maybe I could Adaptive Helm Alawi in the front line and then Rage Blade on Aphelios in the back line. I'm not so sure about that. And we get whomped by a Jax guy. So now things are getting a little nerve-wracking. A little bit nerve-wracking. But we're still 22 HP again. We were very strong early. I swap Aphelios for Lucian. Is that correct? I don't know. I don't know. And I swap Kennen for Nico. Is that correct? I also don't know. Lots of things I'm not so sure about here. And this guy, double buff to Ahri. Pretty good front line. My Sona does cast. Is that enough for my Jinx to go crazy? It's not. I'm getting run over. But I make it to neutrals. Somebody dies. The open forwarders, the high risk, high reward guys, they're dying. All I need to do is out-survive one of these people. A Pantheon in one of these shops, a Pantheon, a Thresh, a Sona, all of those save me. All of those almost surely guarantee me top 4. So that's all I'm thinking about now, but we're spending all of our money. And we find ourselves a Sona, which is truthfully kind of incredible. Grab ourselves just some extra tankiness for our front line. And we get a Ghost. We get a Ghost, which is, I mean, is huge, honestly, which is insanely good RNG for us. And we managed to just barely get past the Ghost. So now I'll slow things down for the last fight here. And so now we finally see that Pantheon, but can't 3-star him. Now our duper's gone. Our duper's gone. So this is the peak of our board. And so this is what a punk board should look like. And there we go. You can see with all my rolls, I'm getting 109% bonus. So all of my punk units have a 585 more health and 58% more AD. Honestly, that's not that much. Had we not leveled to 8 and maybe stayed 7, we could have like 1,000 health, 1,000 AD. Like that's, or not 1,000 health, a double, like, you know, 100% bonus AD. So, you know, this Sona might have been a bait. It might have been a bait, but it appears to be doing some stuff for us. So, you know, and we top 4. Look at that. We managed to top 4. We managed to top 4 despite all that. We leveled a bit too aggressively. We forced Jinx when we really shouldn't have. But thanks to some lucky rolls and some lucky matchmaking, we managed to get ourselves in the top 4. And now we are, you know, up against the best comp in the game currently. Sentinel Ahri. You know, this guy's been looking for it the whole time. Has a 2-star Sona. This board just can't compete. This is not a stage 6 board. Not without a punk spat. And so that does it. That concludes the punk game. But hey, like I said, it's like I promised. It is a consistent top 4 comp. And actually, someone gets eliminated. Do I top 3 it? I forget. Ooh, top 4. But hey, that's what punk looks like. And like I said, I made quite a few mistakes this game. You know, I didn't have enough Jinx to actually commit to punk reroll. I leveled for that Sona. I think that Sona was a bait. I guess those are the 2 key mistakes. So, you know, if you find yourself with more than just a headliner Jinx to start the game and a couple of bows, you know, definitely consider playing punk and get yourself a free top 4. And this should help you along your climb. Like I said, this is a Masters game. So, you know, if you're in lower elo, you should be able to have even more success with this. So, I hope you enjoyed this quick little punk guide. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.